Hi, I'm Connor Fowler.
And I'm Matt Smith.
Welcome to Apocalypse Duds. Today, we are joined by vintage dealer, classic car aficionado, rare camouflage connoisseur, and all-around lovely person, Maya Saltz.
Hello.
Uh,
Hey, Mair. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
so, how was your day today?
It was a fairly average day. I did a bit of clearing out. I'm not very good at clearing out, but I tried to do a bit today.
Dude, me
you know,
too. I did the same. I took 3 bags of clothes to the thrift store, which
That's
I haven't done that. I don't know how long it's been. Never, probably, I've taken that much stuff. So anyway, go on. It's something in the air.
it must be a special clearing out sort of day, I think, maybe. It only happens about 2 days a year in my house. So, yeah. I didn't take 3 bags, though. I only took 1 to the charity shop.
I bet it was big. I bet it was a huge, an enormous sack.
It was kind of bin liner sized, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty big. I just had little. These are. I'm maybe being a little bigger than I truthfully am. Like they were brown grocery bags.
Okay. All right.
It was like an overcoat, maybe like 4 blazers, some other stuff. Anyway, so it sounds like it was equivalent. We can both pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah, doing that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun when you have, like, especially as someone that sells clothing, or secondhand clothing. It's like, I've been looking at this for 4 years. I don't want this in my life anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
It's
a nice purge.
Yeah. But you know what happens sometimes is you sit on something for years and years and years and you think you hate it, but then you keep it a bit longer and then you suddenly realize how fantastic it is.
Right,
which is
totally.
Why I don't get rid of very much stuff, because I know it comes back round and I start to think I like it again.
Agreed. My dad is a mechanic and I tend to give him like t-shirts that are just, nothing I really care about.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to give him those for grease rags.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, yeah. And then I have a bunch of other stuff that's just like out of sight, out of mind, like hats that I'll probably never sell. But it's like, okay,
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't stop yourself from buying certain things.
Yes.
And that is my problem.
Yeah. Similar here.
Yeah. What's the weather like where you are right now?
Oh, well, I mean, I can't see it now because it's dark, but it was just one of those grey, overcast days, the days that don't really start.
Right.
Just white, grey.
But my cats enjoy them because they just look out the window and sleep on the bed all day. That's pretty much how it goes.
Well, that's why I stayed home and just did some clearing, because there was no reason to go outside particularly.
Right. So we kind of tend to ask the age-old ASL question, but we don't really care about the S. So, Maya, what's your age, if you want to give it, and where are you located?
So my age is 105.
Whoa, my God!
I'm pretty sprightly.
The oldest guest we have ever had.
Yes.
I think I might be the oldest guest you've ever had. Anyway, so let's say I hit the mid-century during lockdown.
Okay, gotcha.
So that should give you.
No way.
Yes.
Absolutely not. No, because we're gonna post your picture. No way. You look great. You look terrific. We're gonna have pictures riding a motorbike. Come on. Awesome.
I'll take that. Thank you. So, I mean, at the moment I'm in London.
Okay.
Which is where I live most of the time. But I'm also in Margate, which is where I do some selling. So, I go between the two places.
And I know very little about the geography of the UK, but like in relation to London, which I think everyone kind of understands where that is, like where is Margate?
So Margate is about 70 miles to the east, the northern coast of Kent, which is the next county.
Okay.
London.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So 70 miles.
Okay.
In the car. It's a nice little trip out. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you from London or elsewhere?
I'm from elsewhere. So I was born in Ipswich, which is again, it's about 70 miles northeast of London in East Anglia. So yeah, that's where I grew up was a child, and then I've lived in the Lake District. We moved there when I was 15, and then I went to university in Wales, North Wales, in Bangor. Lived in Leipzig in Germany, and then London.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah, lots of travel and
yeah,
living other places.
Yes. I don't really feel like I've lots of homes.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, but Margate's very close to my heart at the moment. I do love it there. So it's a funky little town.
That's cool. Is there a college there, or is it just like kind of naturally funky?
Well, it doesn't have a college actually, but it does have at Margate School. Well, what's it called now? The Margate School. They set up an art school, but I think it's struggling for funding at the moment. It's a very art-centric town, so lots of artists.
Oh, that's really cool.
People. And it's in an area called Thanet. So you've got Ramsgate and Broadstairs, which are two other towns really close, which have slightly different vibes, but they're all very interesting in their own right. Yeah, and they've had quite a rise in the last 10 years or so from being fairly down at heel, and now people are moving in from London and from everywhere else, and investing in them and making it into a place people want to be and live and raise kids. It's nice.
That's cool.
Is that kind of like Brighton? I know someone that lives in Brighton, and of course I famously went to study abroad in Swansea, Wales. So I'm acquainted somewhat with the geography over there, but I guess Brighton is known for being like artsy place.
Yes, I think that people compare the two, or they say that Margate is becoming Brighton, but
cool. So it's like ascendant.
In a way, it's a lot smaller, and it's it's a different vibe. But Brighton is very much, to me, like a bit like London on Sea. I mean, really Londony, like quite a big city feel to it. Whereas Margate's much smaller, more contained. Yeah, and we have a good sandy beach in Margate. Which they have in Brighton, they have pebbles, as far as I know, or stony beach.
I gotta say that cities in England or places in England have such cooler names than the States. Just
now, don't give it to those Anglo.
I mean,
Yeah, no. There's something good with American names. We have names like Hogneck Road.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
You have Kickapoo Park, which I loved last time I was there. Kickapoo Park, yes. But you've got all the British names as well, haven't you? Everything. There's a Margate in New Jersey.
Right. Yeah. We do.
You got all of them as well.
Yeah. We're trying to catch up. I don't know. Something about the UK has always drawn me to appreciate it. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's also hearing these things pronounced in your accent and not my terrible American accent makes it that much better. I don't know.
Maybe. I found a little town today and it was called Fobbing, and I thought that was a good name for
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's in
wow.
Where is it now?
So that's something we can't call the episode. Bobbing with Maya Saltz.
No, don't say no.
So I should have asked you this in the prologue. I didn't. We have been asking our guests what they are wearing. You maybe who knows what you're wearing. It's time to go to sleep. So
I did warn you I might be in pajamas.
That is a fine answer.
I'm
that
not.
is a fine answer. We're an honest show. People don't have to get dressed up for the show. I'm wearing a fucking t-shirt, which I am not often doing.
I'm actually in fully clothed, fully dressed in what I wore all day. So in my clearing out clothes, which are And this wasn't just for the show, but I do happen to have quite a nice pair of trousers on, which
Hell
are
yeah.
monkey pants. You know those?
Oh, originals?
No, these are
Oh,
reproductions, but they're very good reproductions.
yeah, that's awesome. Do
Yeah.
you know what company made them?
Bronson.
Oh, Bronson stuff is so solid for
Yeah.
especially for the price.
Really good. Just nice.
Yeah.
All the details. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so I've got those on, and I've got my favourite sweatshirt on, which is it's a black. I don't know what brand it is, but it's just a really nice one. But it says "Basketball is hip hop" on the front in big silver letters. So I don't know what that.
Nice. I accept it though, right? Isn't that like hip hop definitionally is a combination of sort of art, including graffiti. So like, yeah, I would say basketball is hip hop in a lot of ways. I'm not a follower of the sport, but I am a follower of hip hop, and so I think that's reasonable.
It's yes, I think so. I mean, I don't know. I just like the look of it, and then now I wear it, and I wonder if people think I'm a bit strange for wearing it, but it's okay. I can wear it
absolutely
now that I'm over 50. It's fine. Who cares?
Hell yeah, that's the attitude. So what do you do in your own words? I know we talked about the vintage and we talked about the selling, but what do you do?
Well, see, I don't have a job except that I am a mother of 3 daughters. So that is one aspect of what I do, which is mothering.
But that's like, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to call it a job, it is a job. It's work. It's labor.
Well, it's quite time consuming, and
sure.
Running a household also quite time consuming. I mean, in a previous life, I was a translator and of German.
Okay.
And then I worked in the news industry for 4 years or so, and then they made me redundant. So since then, I haven't actually had a boss. I've not had a career since then. I've
that's
had
the goal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think I could ever go back to having a boss.
Yeah. Same here. Here.
Yeah. Just make your own kind of business life, whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you sell vintage kind of as a source of income and also a passion that you have.
It's really more that. I suppose you'd call it like a little side hustle. It's not the way I I couldn't sort of fund everything through what I do, but I do love the little bit that I do. I love the interaction with people. I've met so many interesting people through just, a similar interest in same types of clothes and things. And
certainly.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun. The chit chat with people down on the Harbour Arm in Margate. I love it.
Yeah, that's one of the one of the reasons why I also enjoy doing vintage clothing is just meeting people, and like a friend of mine has said this many times, but with furniture or art or something like that, you don't necessarily get to see the person enjoying that thing that they bought from you. But with clothing, with clothing, you see them wear it out of the market or something, or like, you can tell them the history of it, and they're just so interested.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And then if you're lucky, they'll send you a photo, or they'll post a photo on Instagram of them wearing it. And that's so gratifying, isn't it? When they're so happy with it, they want to.
It really is.
Tell everyone.
I don't know if everyone approaches like, dealing vintage that way, but like that, I can't help but approach it that way. And it sounds like you're kind of in that same vein.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I always tell people, because like we were saying, sometimes you have items that sit there for a very long time, and you think it's a really nice thing. Why has nobody bought that? And then eventually someone comes along and they just fall in love with it instantaneously, and it fits them perfectly. And I just think things wait for the right person, and when the right person comes, and it might take a while, but clothing finds its owner sometimes, I think.
Certainly.
Yeah, finds the right person.
Yeah, it's always really fun when you've had something for so long and you're like, you're tired of looking at it, but then a person picks it up and they're like, oh my god, this is perfect, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Looking cool, yeah.
That's another one of those things that's very validating, I think.
Yeah, it really is, yeah. Because I don't know about you, but do you sometimes go through phases where you think, am I picking the right stuff, or
always.
Yeah. Have I gone
especially like you seem to have kind of an aesthetic that you stick into, as do I, and it's mostly stuff that I enjoy, like military stuff, camo, workwear, etc.
Yeah,
like when you kind of look around and you're like, oh, the quote unquote kids these days into this, but then you end up selling some stuff to some people that are really psyched on it. It's just such a good feeling.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was in the thrift store yesterday with these like teens, and
fire, bro.
One of whom's name was Ulrich, and they kept saying, Ulrich, come over here, man. Oh, these are such sick Wranglers, man. They must have been like 17. But they had like armfuls of shit, It was, I don't know. I remember being that age doing that exact thing. So it's funny. It's really, I don't know.
Name that Ulrich. I've never heard anyone called Ulrich over here.
Really?
Not here. No. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I haven't come across any Ulrichs either.
Vintage picker Ulrich. Yeah. So was that right. Shop, did you say, or was that where were you?
I was in Brooklyn. See, to talk to the earlier point about the names all being the same, I was in Brooklyn, Baltimore, which is like a little, I guess it's a suburb, but it's really like connected to the city. The city of Baltimore is quite large, comparatively. Like it's the biggest city in the state of Maryland anyway. And we were there. I found this leather jacket that I bought. That's the stores we were going to talk about thrifting. I'm curious about thrifting in the UK because when I went, the charity shops were really like looked down on. Like I was like, where can I go to the thrift store in Swansea, Wales, And people were like, why do you want to go to the charity shop? Like what is that? So I don't know. I just thought that was odd, I guess, but maybe it used to be that way in America. Like going to the thrift store was really looked down upon, and now it's sort of a hobby of like white suburban mom types, and among many other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think in the last sort of 10 years or so, it's definitely become much cooler to go, and not cool, but it's much more acceptable to go and source most of your stuff from a charity shop. I think when I was growing up, I don't think people really went to them very much. I mean, that's a long time ago, but yeah, lately it's actually quite hard to get into them on a Saturday. They're quite busy with all sorts of people looking for stuff. Yeah, but the prices have gone up as well. So, I think sometimes the prices is a bit optimistic.
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
I have many friends that like I'll take pictures of a price tag of an item and be like, just what the fuck? Like how? Oh, cool. This crappy 80s leather jacket is $75. Like what are you people thinking? You get it for free, and you're a thrift store. Like no one that outside of the people that are picking for a certain thing, like most people are not going to pay $75 for literally anything in a thrift.
No, that's excessive.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I mean, it is meant to be sort of, well, I don't know. I mean, they're trying to raise money for a charity, obviously, but also
Right.
it's accessible to people. So, and they should be shifting it quickly.
Totally.
And the only way to do that is by selling it at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna say something that I don't really know anything about. So they ostensibly are charitable organizations, but I wonder what the breakdown of their profits are. Because I suspect that, like, the Salvation Army, which is a huge organization over here, I don't know. I guess they are an international organization. I wonder what the penetration of the Salvation Army is to the United Kingdom. But they do all kinds of weird, questionable stuff, like forcing their members to marry and stuff like that. So I wondered what what are the organizations like in the UK, the thrift store organizations? Like, are there many big chains? One big chain?
Well, I mean, yeah, so the Salvation Army has a whole load of charity shops, definitely. I mean, it was set up in London, wasn't it, whenever it was, 18-somethings, 1870s,
Right.
I don't know. So yeah, they have charity shops. Then we have there's Cancer Research, British Heart Foundation, Scope, which is for people with disabilities. There's Mind. There's a whole load of different very well-known charities that have charity.
So maybe it is real in the United Kingdom. Maybe they really are charitable organizations in the United Kingdom, and just in America they are not.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know enough to answer that, but yeah, I think they're fairly legitimate over here. I mean, you do get, obviously, well, what we get here is people pushing bags through letterboxes saying we're collecting for charity and we'll be collecting on this day, say next Thursday. Please leave us, your bag outside your house. And those ones can be quite spurious. Yeah, they might not actually be a proper charity, or they'll only give, say, 2% of the profit they make to a charity. So
now that sounds like American charitable giving, 2%.
Yeah. Suspicious of those ones. Yeah.
Totally. It's kind of fun though when you like go to a for-profit thrift or something like that, and you're like, I found this thing that y'all could have gotten way more money for, and yes. I'm gonna buy it and sell it to someone that actually appreciates it, rather than you guys putting it on your stupid, Shop Goodwill or whatever website. There's a little bit of a triumph in that, I think.
Yeah, I think that, the thrill of finding something is good when you do find something. I mean, it's few and far between nowadays, but when you do find something really good in a charity shop, that's quite a thrill, isn't it? Like the treasure seeker. Yeah.
Yeah. I think treasure, unearthing a treasure is a great way to put it.
Yeah.
So what is your process for picking the things that you do sell? Do you guys have estate sales and flea markets and things like that?
There's certainly flea markets. I mean, I don't. I'm trying to think now. Really, I mean, I just have such a massive amount of stock at the moment. I'm just,
right, because you were a collector first, right?
I was. Yeah, that's how it happened. Really, I just happened to. I've always bought stuff, and it just, I think, reached tipping point. And then one of my friends, who is also a very avid collector of clothes, that I wore them all. They were mine, and she had hers, and we just decided we needed to do a market stall because we had some good stuff. We should sell some of our stuff.
Yeah,
that's how it started. Just a one-off little market stall.
Gotcha.
And then but then I got the bug. Then you start to want to do it again. Yeah. So but yeah, so now I'm not. You've got a mixture of, there's wholesale where you can hand pick as well. So I've done a bit of that. Picking out the sort of really juicy bits out of piles of not very good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, or occasionally scanning a charity shop and seeing if there's anything good in there, or and also during lockdown, of course, eBay was a great occupier of time. Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people started, like myself included, buying stuff more online to sell.
Yeah.
During that, because everything was closed, and it wasn't as accessible to go to things for 3 or 4 months here.
No, that's it. You had to get your retail fix somewhere, and that was the only way to do
it. Right. I mean, I've always been the type, like, when I was a kid, getting a Christmas like catalog, and going through and circling everything. So like, I feel like even just looking at eBay or another, like, other websites, like, I don't even care if I buy anything. It's just seeing what's available.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah, that's true. It's good. I sometimes would put a search in, like, I just put in like orange jacket or something, just something really generic. Really, that's a fun way to find things as well. You scan through and you might come across something, a gem, in amongst orange jackets. Yeah.
It's a very similar thing to going to a thrift store. It's like you're going to wade through 1,000 things that are awful, and then maybe find that one little gem.
That's it. And you don't have to wear a mask and gloves, or
right.
Goodwill. I've seen that in America.
Gives you the same serotonin boost.
Yeah. In a cleaner environment. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So in America, not to be like comparing the two, but that's a little bit the point. There's this concept of stolen valor. Are you familiar with this?
I've heard people say that, or I've heard it mentioned.
So do people in the UK think have weird connotations with camouflage in that way?
I haven't come across that really at all. Although I did think about it a little bit today. I was thinking, I have a couple of jackets that would have been worn during the Falklands War, which was, well, I don't know if you know about that, the very little war that we had with Argentina in 1982, 81, 82. And so I have a sort of British Army parka that was worn during that era. I don't know if it was actually worn in the Falklands, but I did think, oh, that's sort of weird. I wonder if it was worn there, and it gave it a different meaning. I don't know. And I think things with badge, I think sometimes when you've got badges on, or not medals, but sort of stripes on the arm and things like that, sometimes I think that maybe don't wear those. I don't know. I just
no, and I'm not asking you to make like a proclamation,
no,
but no. I was just wondering if that concept existed as a way. I suspected probably not
as much.
I don't know, the idea of impersonating a person in the military is a little bit odd. Like really doing it, saying that you have done it is something so different than having the badges, but I digress.
I personally will not wear anything that is that has any insignia or anything on it. I don't fault people that do. I kind of allow the people if they want to or not. But it's just not something that I'm comfortable with. I mean, my last name is Smith, so if I have one jacket that has Smith written over the pocket, that's the only thing I can do. And if I wouldn't wear anything with someone else's last name on it.
Yeah.
It's just I also, along with Connor, were imagining that it probably wasn't the same kind of like thing in the UK as it is here.
No, not in my experience, but I mean, I can't speak for everybody.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, there are many things that people in Europe are way different on than the States too.
Mm.
So I'm not shocked that you have not experienced that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw that the incredible VW van that you're selling.
Yeah. Yes.
What year? Just out of curiosity, like what year and what model is it?
It's a 1988 VW Transporter, but
Okay.
it's been converted to, it's a minibus. It's quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks incredible.
Mm.
And anyone that is listening to this, please, whenever she gets out her Instagram, go look at this thing because I've been salivating over it.
Oh.
But have classic cars been a thing that you were into for a long time? And
I actually, for as long as I can remember, I've really liked old cars, and I remember just always wanting to have a car from a really young age as well. Took me ages to pass my test, mind you. I didn't.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't get my driving license till I was 26.
Okay.
So, yeah, quite late.
Did that have something to do with like the transit that was available to you, or was that just kind of like how it went for you?
It was to do with money because it was quite expensive to learn to drive. I was young, didn't really have the money to do it. I started and then didn't have enough to, complete the driving.
Gotcha.
Then actually what got me to actually pass my test was I bought a car before I'd passed. So then there was a bit more incentive to, go out and practice. And so I did get a Mark 1 Golf, a Rabbit, as I think you call it in the States.
Right, yeah.
So that's what that was.
Was it diesel?
No, it was petrol, that one. The one I've got, that was a petrol. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I just love old cars, and also I think they just got better visibility than modern ones. Where they've got nice big windows, you can see really clearly out of the side of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
The modern ones have got these tiny, weeny little back windows that you can't see anything out of, and great big bumpers, and yeah, no, I like the old stylings.
Yeah. What is your favorite era?
Favorite era. I guess it would probably be, for styling, it would be like 50s, 60s.
Okay.
But I like a lot of 80s cars as well.
They have such a like interesting design aesthetic to them that I think it is really underrated, or maybe it's not now, but it has been for a long time.
Yeah.
But like old Volvos and BMWs from the like late 70s and 80s. I don't know. They just have such a cool look to them.
They really do. Volvos are really becoming really sought after here as well. The V70s and the XC70s, sort of the big sort of square backed ones.
Oh God, yeah. Those are so good.
They are. They're really cool cars.
What is the kind of driving experience and culture in London or where you've been in England?
Well, London now. I'd say London is quite you have to be assertive. You definitely can't be a dithery, slow driver. There's no forgiveness at all.
Right.
So I think one of the earliest things I learned in London was that even if I was lost, I had to be lost with conviction. You just got to really just follow the bus, if nothing else. Just
right.
Pretend you know where you're going, do it with conviction, and do not dither, because people will be on your case very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So
I would say that's pretty comparable to
like Mair.
Yeah, like that's kind of a New York attitude of driving. It's like, yo, man, get out of the fucking way if you're not gonna like.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know how good it is for a person's heart or stress levels. I think at some point I might have to leave London just because driving is. I don't find it stressful. I find it sort of fun. It's a bit like a game, but I guess there must be raised adrenaline. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
But I wouldn't cycle here.
You would? Oh, really?
I wouldn't. I mean, people do. Lots of people do. Brave. I just wouldn't.
The public transit in London is pretty robust also.
It's brilliant.
For a long time, right?
It's pretty good. I mean, you can get most, apart from at the moment, because we've got train strikes every week.
But, true.
Yeah, but normally it would be good.
Right.
Yeah.
So the classic cars, the old clothing, all of that kind of, in my opinion, and something we talk about a lot on the show, comes from, in our experience, like a place where music has been involved in someone's life.
Mm-hmm.
So what role has music played a role in your kind of development of style and interests?
See, that was the question that I got slightly stuck on.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
Because I love music. I love live music, love going to gigs. I have very wide ranging taste, I'd say, although there's certain things I'm not keen on listening to, but I don't I don't really know. I'd say lately, also in the last 10, 12 years, I got into this. I really enjoyed listening to this singer. I don't know if you've heard of him, called Pokey Lafarge.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So Pokey,
of course. I almost saw him with my dad.
Oh, cool. Well, there you go. So I know Andrew a bit, and I've been going to since about 2011. He came to London, and I just was blown away at how good he is. He's such a good singer, and his band were brilliant. The South City 3, they were from St. Louis. And then I started. I like the style. You know, they wear, or Pokey particularly has a very distinctive, very retro look. Sometimes it's rock, sort of like 50s. Sometimes it's more 30s, 40s, and so I think maybe sometimes when I would go to the gig, I'd modify what I was wearing to sort of fit in a little bit with the vibe. Because there's a lot of real vintagey people would go to these gigs,
right.
in really good gear, and so I started to absorb that a bit. The sort of the great looking jeans, wide leg jeans with the turn up and things like that, and so that's had a little influence. But I couldn't really say. I suppose when I was younger, it would have been gothic. I would have been much more into kind of the Cure and things like that, and the dance and the Cult, and so I was a bit more into the goth type stuff.
Solid.
But I never really, I didn't have the money to spend on clothes particularly, so I probably, I tried to put lots of eyeliner on and find a black jumper, but that was about it. Didn't go much.
Go to a night where they're playing Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's been one of those things since I've been working with clothing that has always just very much interested me, because I feel like everyone I meet that is really cool and is really into cool stuff all kind of comes from this same like weirdo place of non-mainstream music. So like I don't know, it's just something we enjoy exploring and seems to kind of fit.
Yeah I get that.
I understand it's a little hard to answer because, like, I'm not always dressing like the musicians I listen to anymore, right? But there really was a time where I did. Like Kurt Cobain, hugely influential, grunge generally, hugely influential, that kind of like weird, I don't know, weird mixing of stuff that is reflected also in the music. But does that apply to my dressing today? I don't know.
I think
I think it was a good answer.
When you're a teenager, you're much more influenced, aren't you, by what other people are wearing?
Yeah, you want to wear the exact same shit. You want to be like exact copy of this person you idolize.
Yeah, that's it.
So I guess it is growing up.
I mean, I really liked Freddie Mercury when I was 14, 15, but I wasn't going to wear the vest braces and skin tight jeans and
right,
big
yeah.
scarf that he wore. Yeah.
You kind of find your element within these different things that influence you, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's combining them, like the rockabilly country angle of things, like that definitely has, especially if you're into Americana clothing and things like that, like it's got its particular vibe.
Yeah,
it can look very costumey on certain people, but you incorporate elements of that into what you like to dress like, and when you look in the mirror, you're stoked about it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to try too hard, do you? And it's if people are trying too hard, it's usually evident.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
If you're not 18 years old, you're going to pick up on someone trying too hard. If you're 18, you're probably that person trying too hard. But, we all went through that.
We did. Yes, we did.
So I guess as we wrap up, we have some questions which are less expansive. So I was going to ask what your best or your favorite find was.
Yes.
Or recently, it doesn't have to be all time.
Yeah, so relatively recently, I did. I and this goes back to the whole charity shop thing as well.
The last piece of treasure you uncovered.
But I found a piece of treasure, and it was I didn't know. I just, when you sense something is really good, and you just, you pull it off the rail and go, this is good. It was £3, and I thought, and it's actually a Royal Canadian Air Force jacket from the 70s with a big black fur collar.
Yeah,
I'm wearing it on that motorbike picture, actually.
Damn,
that was
a
good find. I was really happy with that one. So I've never sold it. I kept it. Yeah, too good not to keep. What else have I? Yes, do you know? Have you heard of clown camo or salamander camouflage?
Yeah. I actually have an eBay search for it because you introduced me to it. So I'm still looking for it. Yeah.
I still have that coat, jacket, parka thing because I just can't.
You still have it?
I can't bear to sell it.
Fuck. That thing is so good.
It is good, isn't it? Yeah. So, but I'm not bold enough to wear it. That's the funny thing. I've put it on.
Hey, guess you know who is?
I know.
You know who is bold enough to wear it?
You know what?
Connor is saying when and if you ever want to get rid of it, he gets first turn. First
yes.
My arms are open.
Okay. Maybe I'll bring it with me when I visit Baltimore.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
man, I'm so jealous of people that I know in various places of Europe because you guys find so much cool non-American camo and clothing. That's like when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, I went to surplus stores and like Czech or Swiss or whatever stuff was like a dime a dozen. It was everywhere. And now like I so rarely see cool like European camouflage or European military stuff. I don't remember across anything.
Really?
And it's it's kind of a bummer, but I don't know. I'll scroll through like Instagram stories of my friends in Europe and just get very envious.
But equally, we're always searching for those fantastic bits of Americana that you get.
Right. It's a blessing and a curse, no matter where you live. I think.
Yeah.
There's. I'm still finding World War II stuff pretty regularly that was American, and you guys are finding like crazy camouflage from the 60s and 70s, or a Royal Canadian parka.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite item in your collection?
that again. I found that really difficult as well. I don't have I have a couple of like that jacket I just mentioned.
Right. Right.
You know, I certainly have things that I just seem to always wear. So
right.
I suppose them a favourite. Oh yeah. No, I've got so many. I couldn't even pin it down to one. Really, there's lots of things that I can't bear to get rid of. So I suppose that makes them my favourites. I've got a kind of a mini archive of things that I don't want to sell yet.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, and actually some of those are World War II things.
Like
American.
RAF stuff or American?
No, American.
Okay.
I've got an Arctic Parker thing and one of these reversible snow parkers from World War II.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The pullover or the full zip?
It's a button up full length.
Right. Yeah.
Really heavy duty cotton, and it's double, thickness.
Yeah,
reverse.
white on one side, olive drab on the other, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are some of my favorite designs, just because they're so interesting.
Yeah, it's really good. I have worn that actually. That's because it's bland enough for me to wear.
Right.
Not too colourful. Yeah.
I'm right there with you. Most of my stuff is either earth tone or blue, and that's about as far as I go.
That's it. I'm always seen in denim normally as well.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, can't go wrong with navy blue.
Absolutely not.
So to wrap, then we were going to ask what your earliest clothing memory is.
Yes, earliest clothing memory. I had several of these. Actually, one was I pulled out a picture the other day for some friends, and it was my first day at school. And I've got 3 older sisters, and they were all in uniform. And then there's just me sat with them, and I've got a green polo neck jumper on and a red kilt. And I
Wow.
sort of do remember that ensemble, if you want to call it that. Yeah, from that first day of school. I mean, I don't think I've been seen in a kilt since then. Anyway.
That's such a good answer to this question.
But there you go. I can send you a photograph of it if you want to see.
Oh yeah, please do. We'll put it up on the show. I want the salamander camo coat picture and the kilt picture.
All right.
We'll have really banging Instagram post.
Excellent.
Yeah, if you're okay with this, we need your consent. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah.
If you're down with it, we are down with it.
Yeah, I'm sure my sisters won't mind.
No, totally.
But I do remember wearing a lot of corduroy as a child. It was very much corduroy centric clothes in the 70s.
Right.
From C&A, which I don't know if you know C&A. It was a Belgian clothing chain, but they've now shut down in the UK. But everything came from C&A.
Just out of curiosity, Moleskin is one of my favorite fabrics of all time. Like if I could have a like spring summer group of clothing in like sateen, like Vietnam, pants were made from, and a fall winter in Moleskin, that would be all I ever wore. Like, was that a thing for you growing up in the 70s?
No, I don't think I was even familiar with Moleskin. I'm trying to think. No,
it's kind of like corduroy without the whales.
Yeah, it is. Like, I know exactly what it is, but I don't think I had any clothing that was made out of a fabric like that.
I don't know why. I associate Moleskin and English clothing so much in my head, just from coming from like a tailored background.
Yeah, maybe it's more in tailoring than.
Yeah. Maybe you guys don't love it as much as I think you actually love it outside of tailored clothing.
Maybe not. You like a wax jacket though, as you know. Wax jackets, like
totally. Yeah, I feel like wax jackets are one of the most ubiquitous things in the world, like in general, but also in the UK. It's like you can get one that's that's made by some company that no one's ever heard of, or you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
Barber or Belstaff or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Just the mainstay of pretty much everyone's wardrobe.
Country set wardrobe. Yeah. If you're out in the
Yeah,
country.
totally.
I don't have one.
We got to change that.
Yeah. I would have figured you would have had like a really rare one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like you've got some crazy like 60s Belstaff in your.
That's what I was figuring, like a wax moto jacket or something.
I did have one and I sold it, but then I do have some Belstaff trousers, wax trousers, yeah, and I've kept those. I don't know why. Maybe I'm going to go back to a motorbike at some point. Who knows? It might happen. I might have another third midlife crisis and have a motorbike moment.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Yeah, we'll have you on the show again about it.
Yeah. This is
all right.
The part 2 of this interview is all about you embracing a motorcycle again.
Sounds
motorcycle good. Traveler lifestyle.
Okay, it's a deal if I do it.
Awesome. Well, Maya, thank you for coming on. It's been a fun conversation, and you're our second transatlantic guest, right, Connor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it was
fun. Thank you. I'm so glad you asked me as well.
Of course. Yeah, it was our pleasure. But we always try to give the guest a little space to shout out whatever they want to shout out. So have at it.
Oh, goodness. See, this is the bit I didn't prepare for. Oh, no.
What about your shop? What about
your shop or whatever?
I'm going to shout out to Margate, yeah, and to everybody in Margate who comes to Boondocks on the Harbour Arm. I'm not the most reliable of shopkeepers, because I only open sporadically.
Right.
But I have some loyal people who come, and I really appreciate them. So yeah, that's about it really. And
And what's your Instagram for your shop?
It's boondocks_Margate.
Awesome.
Or is it boondocks_vintage? Now I've forgotten that as well. One or the other. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, just do a search and you guys will find the Boondocks.
I'm finding it. It's Boondocks_Margate.
Thank you.
Yes.
Terrible unprepared guest.
No, dude.
No, oh my God! You had.
We are not the most serious podcast on the planet, so you're just as unprepared as we always are. So.
All right, I feel fine.
Yeah.
It was great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. Everyone, thank you for listening. I'm Matt Smith at Rebels Rogues on Instagram.
And I'm Connor Fowler at Connor Fowler with one N.
And I'm pretty sure we've still not received an email, but if you feel so inclined,
no emails. Still no.
No emails.
I'm
going to continue this.
They are odious to receive.
I'm going to continue it, but someone just send us an emoji. apocalypsestuds@gmail.com, at apocalypsestuds on Instagram, and Maya, thank you again.
Your
fun conversation.
I'm going to send you an email right now.
Yay! Then I can stop making this stupid fucking joke.
Email us the pictures.
I will.
Yeah, there you go. And next episode, I'm going to shout you out and be like, we finally got an email from our last guest.
Excellent.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Take care.
Take care.